Quit frying up that chicken.
All right, you guys mute your mics right quick. I'm just gonna give like an introduction right quick. All right, Shalom, YshaRaL. This is SJ with the X. We're nice on, and tonight we're gonna be talking about. The title of the video is "Woe to those who turn back to Egypt." What I mean by that is physically as well as spiritual. You know, we got a lot of brothers and sisters who come into the truth, and they drop out without trace. We got a lot of brothers who turn back and seek to go back and sojourn to Egypt. You know, that's that old mind state that we have before coming into the knowledge that we are YshaRaL and that we have sinned abundantly in Yahweh's presence. You know, that's just accountability. Um, so we're going to bring out a couple of edifying points on why it's bad to turn back to Egypt, and hopefully gain some insight. You know, it's just going to be a nice quick video, like a pre-Shabbat, you know, TKR. Shalom to all the TK out there. I know some brothers wasn't able to come on necessarily, but I'm gonna let the next brother speak.
I'm just gonna come and say shalom. I'm gonna sit back and just kind of listen to you guys and ask some questions. So,
Yeah, Shalom, Nahaliya, Shalom to everyone on the panel. Shalom to everyone listening, everyone who will listen. Shalom to all TK and everyone who's keeping the Torah and trying to uplift this law and make it honorable.
Shalom out there, everybody on the panel. This is Brother Z. I just want to say shalom to everybody getting on here. We appreciate it. You know, we're gonna bring out some scriptures, pretty much explaining how our people display examples of pretty much returning to Egypt and pretty much going back into that mind state of just folly and not really taking heed. And we want to touch on that because it's important. Because when you're in this truth, it's not like us. Well, how some people explain it, it's not like a sprint. You know, it's a marathon. You know, so you gotta keep pace. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep up. You gotta continue. So some people just I don't know. Some people just aren't as sincere or whatever. So we're gonna bringing out some scriptures about that. You know, and shalom.
Shalom, his brother Davion from SOJ. And this live stream is over. Woe to those who go back to Egypt, the house of bondage, the low state of mind. There's nothing but just death and parched lands. There's no water. And the Torah is the water. So that's you need the Torah. But yeah, we're gonna hit on some points. And shalom to all of YshaRaL out there, everyone on the panel, all the Torah keepers in truth. And praise Yahweh. Shalom.
Shalom to the panel. Shalom to all the Torah keepers out there in the faith. I'm experiencing technical difficulties, so I'll be a little slow, but I do intend to participate. No, I'm sorry. My name is Tamayam from Torah Nights.
All right, so shalom. So let's I'm gonna go with my first scripture. We're gonna start off in Jeremiah, and particularly give you some background information about this. Around this time, this is when um, Gedaliah, he was appointed governor over YshaRaL, and during the time of the Babylonian exile, right? So there was a assassin by the name of Yeshmael, and he assassinated Gedaliah. Hence, leading YshaRaL astray, because all the people had gathered under uh, Gedaliah's governorship, and he was going to send us to the designated places. But because he was killed, we didn't have a shepherd in a sense. So he got killed, and then half of YshaRaL, or most of YshaRaL who had gathered in Mizpah, they were taken captive by Ishmael and his 10 um, captains or soldiers that was with him. And basically what happened was they left and went to the land of the children of Ammon and fled that way. And a lot of YshaRaL got torn astray. So I'm in Jeremiah chapter 41, and I will start at, let's see, verse 14. And it says, all the people whom Ishmael had taken captive from Mizpah turned back and went over to Johanan, son of Kareah. Ishmael escaped from Johanan with 8 men, and he went he's going back into the children of Ammon, which is his home country. He's actually of Amorite. And if you go down to verse, let's see, if you go down to verse 10, it says, if you stay in this land, I will build you up, and I will not destroy you. And I will plant you and not uproot, for I have relented of the misfortune that I have brought upon you. Do not be afraid of the king of Babylonia, of whom you are afraid. Do not be afraid of him, the word of Yahweh, for I am with you to save you and rescue you from his hand. I will show you mercy, and he will have mercy on you and return you to the land. But if but if you say, or if you say, we shall not stay in this land, not heeding the voice of Yahweh your God, saying no, but to the land of Egypt shall we go, so that we will not see war. Hear now the words of Yahweh, O remnant of Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh, Master of legions, God of Yahweh, if you would turn your face to go to Egypt, and you will come to sojourn, freight will reach you there in the land of Egypt. And the very hunger about which you worry will pursue you into Egypt. And then you will to go to Egypt to live there will die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. There will not be any remnant or survivor among them for evil that I am bringing upon them. For thus says Yahweh, Master of Legions, God of YshaRaL, just as my anger and my wrath were poured out against the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so will my wrath be poured out upon you if you go to Egypt, and you will be an example for an oath, an astonishment, a curse, and a disgrace, and you will never see this place again. So, this place he's talking about is the land, right? You will sit into captivity. This is right after Zedekiah, you know, he he basically did what was evil in Yahweh's eyes, and instead of heeding his words, he fled. So he told him if he hearkened and listened and served the king of Babylonia, that it would be well for him because the land would not be destroyed for once, and he wouldn't be killed or his lineage. But instead of hearkening and listening to the words prophesied by Jeremiah, he actually was afraid. He was so afraid of the king of Babylonia that he fled. So what happened was he got captured in Jericho, and they took him back. And then the king of Babylonia gave them judgments, and then he killed all his sons in front of him, and he killed all the men of war that was with him. So like basically what I'm saying is he told him if you listen to him that and he would be good because the land wouldn't be destroyed, and that's what he's saying now. He's telling us to stay in the land, which is under what would be the best word for it? I guess under captivity from Babylonia. So they had control of the land, but the land was still ours. We were just going to be in that captivity for a 70 years period, but he didn't heed. So the land became destroyed and desolate. And also the men who saw that it was good to turn back to Egypt because they liked it there. That's kind of like that is the mind state here. Our people like the comfortability and captivity. They like being in a cave cell with TV and a couch just chilling. It's cool to be in captivity. As long as you're not bleeding or excruciating pain or anything. If master gives them a couple you know anything that's pleasurable, they become uh, comfortable in it, and so they like all the stuff that Egypt was providing, which was nothing spiritually. So they basically they like not doing work, especially hard work. So that's just one of my examples. I'm gonna pass off to the next brother or sister.
Could I? Did you read 42 and what is that? 19.
Oh no, I did not
All right,
actually.
let,
I
let me let
can.
me let me bring this out because as I was reading it, it just made me think about something. So this is when the remnant had asked Yeremiah for to go to Yahweh and you'll bring back word of what they should do, and the way he responds to him is kind of funny to me. But it reads Yeremiah 42 and 19. Yahweh has spoken about you, O remnant of Yehuda. Do not go to Mitzrayim. Know for certainty that I have warned you this day. For you deceive yourselves when you sent me to Yahweh your Elohim, saying, pray for us to Yahweh your Elohim, and according to all that Yahweh your Elohim says, so declare to us, and we shall do. So it's like they basically played themselves because they know they wasn't gonna listen to him anyway, because they already had their mind set on what they want to do. So it just makes me think of like, when our family or friends or like our coworkers may come to us and ask us like, I'm in this situation. What should I do? And us being, TK and being, trying to follow the Torah, trying to follow these instructions, we filter our decisions through that. So when we give out our advice, we advise through the Torah. But 9 times out of 10, once we give them that advice, give them those instructions, they ain't trying to hear it. So they deceive themselves by even coming to a Torah keeper to ask for advice. So as you was reading, I said that verse caught my eye. So I just want to bring that out.
Khan. That's exactly what Jeremiah told Zedekiah. He was like, dude, even if I like give you this advice, are you going to heed it? Are you going to listen to me? Are you either going to take it to heart or you're not just going to do what you want to do anyway? Because he was like, why are you asking me to, pray to Yahweh on your behalf and ask for my advice when you're not even going to listen? And then
Dang.
he swore on his soul and he swore on Yahweh's name, which is why I think all that happened to him because he didn't he swore falsely by Yahweh's name and he lied, you know? So it's just like, man, like, I mean, and from what I read, man, he wasn't a good king. He wasn't. He wasn't making good decisions. He wasn't using knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And he was being carnal, you know? And also, where is it at? Oh, if you go down, and was it chapter 43? It tells you what happens, like specifically what Yahweh was going to do, and Yahweh was going to send nations upon Egypt. He's like, oh, so you want to return to Egypt? Okay, I'm just going to send the Chaldeans to Egypt to destroy you there. So it's like pick your poison, you know. It's like it's like when your parents are chastising you, they're like, all right, go pick out your switch, you know, and you pick out the smallest one. They're like, nope, now you got the leather belt. It's like, hey, you got to make that decision like wisely. Uh, one of y'all can go ahead. I'm about to grab some more of these notes.
God, that was Jeremiah 43. 11.
Con.
I lost it. Oh, here it is. And he will come and strike the land of Egypt. Whosoever destined for death will go to death, for captivity to captivity, for the sword to the sword. And I shall set fire to the temples of the gods of Egypt, and he will burn them and plunder them. He will wrap up the booty of the land of Egypt with the shepherd wraps things in his garment. Hold up. As a shepherd wraps things in his garment, he will leave there in peace. So in other words, he's going to come back and destroy Egypt, just like the brother said. So why would you go to another place to be destroyed again? That's something I don't understand. I don't understand it.
Con. Con. I say, bro, there's nowhere you can hide from your Elohim, especially if you YshaRaL, because you're already cursed, you know? You can't run. There's not a rock Yahweh doesn't know. Yahweh is a God from nearby and afar. He knows everything. So it's like he's telling you to do these things so it may be well for you, but instead you try to do the other thing and run from him. Like, do you not know that he's the master of legions? You know? It's like they don't really contemplate these things, especially during this time. People wasn't. It was like we was in such a disarray. We didn't even like have time to actually think. It was just on foot doing so, and that's kind of what's sad because that tells you didn't have no guidance after that. Like the whole flock, because the governor got killed by some wicked man. And that dude, I don't even think he was captured. So oh yeah, and then if you want to go to that same chapter that Brother Tom was just reading, and if you go down to verse 13, because he stopped at 12, it says, "He will shatter the pillars of the temple of the sun that is in the land of Egypt, and he will burn down the temples of the Egyptian gods in fire." So right there, you want to turn back to Egypt, that's going back to Jebus. Spiritually, that's going back to Jebus. And he just told you he's going to shatter the pillars of the temple of the sun because Jebus is a sun idol of the land of Egypt. He's going to burn down all the temples and the Egyptian gods. So, like, they don't understand. They really don't understand. Like, after everything that they've done that caused the land to, or the city to be besieged and burned down, they want to run to Egypt just to get burned down there. So it's like, you know, it's inevitable. But it's all because they're not making the right decisions. They're not using discernment. But I'm gonna pass off to another brother or sister.
Shalom, shalom. I am, and I got these verses right here. Hosea chapter 7, verse 8. It says, Ephraim will be intermingled with the nations. Ephraim will be like a cake that was not turned over. Strangers have consumed his strength, but he did not know. Also, old age was cast upon him, but he did not know. The glory of Israel was humbled before him, but they did not turn back to their God. I'm sorry, they did not turn back. They did not turn back to Yahweh, their God, and they did not seek him despite all this. Ephraim was like a foolish dove with no understanding. They have called to Egypt. They have gone to Assyria. When they go, I will spread my net over them, and I will bring them down like the birds of the sky. I will afflict them as has been heard by their congregation. So like Ephraim tried to make allegiances with like Assyria and Egypt, tried to go back, you know, rather than turn back to the Most High, like we're supposed to be doing, rather turn back to Yahweh. They decided to turn to our oppressors, and the Most High was just he said, "I'm gonna cast the net. I'm gonna cast the net over them there." You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're gonna still be getting destroyed there. You know, I got more verses. Um, It says right here, verse 13. Woe to them, for they have moved away from me. Plunder upon them, for they have rebelled against me. I would redeem them, but they have spoken lies about me. They did not cry out to me in their hearts when they wailed on their beds. They gathered together for grain and wine, yet they turned away from me. As for me, I afflicted them. I strengthened their arms, but they think evil of me. They turn, but not to the one above. They are like a deceptive bow. Their officers will fail by the sword because of the fury of their tongues. This was their desertion in the land of Egypt. You know, all that. Because we're in that Egyptian mind state. You know, I mean, it's right there. I'm gonna go down to where is it? Sorry, just one. I think 1 second. Where is it? Where is it?
Also, like with the way that we think, we're where we used to read from right to left, and now everything's left to right. Like everything is the opposite. So, like since we're in Egypt, we have elaborating on what you said, we have Egyptian minds, and so now it's going to take training again and a lot of work. It's a race to get to back to the beginning to where we used to think or how we used to think. Everything is very like carnal in Egypt, and the Most High wants us to think and act spiritually. So it's hard not to go back into Egypt when you've grown up in Egypt, and Egypt is all that you've ever known.
Con. But that's due to us. We befell. You know, we are we're of the ones who went to captivity, obviously, because we in a place that our forefathers did not know. By some people we did not know. So it's like we was conditioned to learn the ways of Egypt because we were subjected to Babylon. We're subjects in Babylon. We don't have a place where we can go and build up our economy to be our own nation. We're slaves here. We have to work to fuel their economy. We don't have a place that that's open arms for us. And even if people thought they were Egyptians or Africans or whatever, Hamites or Canaanites, whatever you wanted to claim that you were or whatever, why have those people, called back for us, or why have those people, took up arms against the U.S. because they have taken, us. So obviously that's not the case. That's how you know that's not the case, because we're not them. They don't care. I mean, you heard what Yahweh just said. He said he's going to left us as a curse, an astonishment, a wonder. That's where we are. Like people are like, oh my gosh, like these people, they don't know who they are. That's how like all the nations see us. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
they don't know who they are.
Kind of.
My cousin told me, I think he said one of these this Khazarian lady, whatever she was, she might have been a Khazar or whatever, but she had walked up to him and she was like, "Do you know who you are?" And he was like, what are you talking about?" She said, "You are royal blood," and he didn't
Mm.
really know what she meant. And like, that should tell you, like these people know who we are.
Yes.
Don't you
I
know?
was saying in the chat. I was out shopping and this Middle Eastern couple came up to me. Actually, it was three people. It was two guys and a girl. They came up and they were staring at me right in the line. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am. Do I have something wrong with me?"
You're
Says,
like, do I have tissue at the bottom of my shoe or something?
"Why are you staring at me? Uh, do you know who you are?" I said, "No, but would you like to elaborate on it? I know I'm a human being living in the United States, and I'm United States." He said, "You're more than that. You belong over there where those fake Jews are." I said, oh, you know that, huh? And then
Mm.
I read the Torah and everything, and I do believe I'm one of the seed from Jacob. And she said, well, you're absolutely right. All the dark people over there in the no, she said like this, all the darkies here in the United States
Oh,
are
wow.
supposed to be the majority of. And that's it. She said that was the most polite way she could explain it because she was new to the country. Mind you, they're coming from the Middle East. They don't know our language. But I understood what she said, every word. And she said she was understanding part of what I was saying. And I said, so was Israel originally in that place? She told me no. It was closer to Africa. So they moved Israel.
Mm-hmm.
But she also told me that we're supposed to be in that land and not them. I said, well, if all these people know this, why don't they take action? Why don't they kick those people out? We're afraid of the devil and his weapons.
They
Ooh,
can't because
wee.
those are, those are the ones who made that compact with Satan. They run the world. You can't go
Right.
to Israel, who runs the
Right.
world. Dude, Israel runs the United States. Like the United States sends billions a year to Israel for no reason. Just like sends billions and billions of dollars. Like, that's how you know they're not even like a true state. They were created in
Mm-hmm.
1948. After that, you know, whole World War. We didn't really get into that, but we all know the way that they got there. They basically they
Mm-hmm.
ways in. And they removed the people who were there, you know, and we were already over here. So it's like they had the land and they had the people.
Yeah. And they changed the location. They
They
Yeah.
moved
think they have leverage.
they moved the borders further north.
Yep, they moved the borders, they changed the maps, and they changed our perceptions. So it's
Exactly.
like everything is just,
Mm.
But actually, I'm gonna bring out this next uh couple of verses, and it's gonna really hit home. This is Jeremiah chapter, or this is Jeremiah chapter 44, and I'm gonna start from verse. I can really read this from verse 2 all the way to verse 14, and start at verse 2. It says, "Thus says Yahweh, Master of Legions, God of YshaRaL, you have seen all this slot. You have seen all the misfortune that I have brought upon Jerusalem and upon all the cities of Yahweh, and behold, they are a ruin to this day. There is no inhabitant in them, because of their evil that they did to anger me, to go burn incense to worship gods of others whom they did not know, they, you, and your fathers. I sent all my servants, the prophets, to you, arising early and sending, saying, do not perform this act of abomination that I detest. But they did not listen, nor incline their ear to repent from their evil, nor, not to burn incense to gods of others. Like, we burn incense to the gods of others. That is going back to the Egypt mind state, because that is something that's foreign to Yahweh. You know, that's not progressive. That's digressive. That's what we were already doing. So that's right there. They're referring to their ways. And then it says, so my wrath, my anger was poured out, and it burned in the cities of Yahweh and in the streets of Jerusalem, and that all became ruined and desolate as this day. And now, thus says Yahweh, the God of legions, the God of YshaRaL, why are you doing this great evil to your souls? See, he's asking us a question. Why are you doing this great evil to your souls? Because this is, this, oh, sorry. Yeah, why are you doing great evil to your souls? Because our people really, really are not, I don't know why, they just don't want to listen. It's like
Mm-hmm.
their forehead is more than, what is it, more than new, or what's the word?
Minuscule.
No, not minuscule. I mean like flint, slot. Yes, their head harder than flint. They just really can't listen. It's like they're stuck on the idol worship. But I'm
It's a
gonna continue. It says, "Oh, slot. What'd you say?"
stiff neck.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the
yeah.
critical skills, like critical thinking skills, are off like How come you don't think about all these other nations that have all these weapons of war and they have all these things that they can claim that is theirs to go fight against their enemies? But then you look at us and we have absolutely nothing. That's not just by chance, because our power and our might and our weaponry is with the Most High, you
Ah,
see?
yeah, how?
And yeah. And so he's going to be our, our savior. Where's Jesus in all of this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ah,
everybody's got something else going on, but we're the only people that have no God that looks like us, no weaponry, no power, and all confused. We have no language, no place to go back to. But
that's
people
because
don't want to have that critical thinking and ask themselves those questions on how that was all placed together.
ah. Oh, and best believe Jesus is in here. Jesus in here. He alone with them Egyptian gods that Yahweh was going to burn down in all their temples. You know, that's that
Yeah.
sun. That's that
Oh yeah,
sun.
Jesus ship brought us over here too. So yeah,
Yeah,
he's kind of played a couple of roles in our world. So
that's what I'm saying. But
Just leading to
we ain't
death.
supposed to. Yes, death, straight to death.
That hold on, I got a verse real quick. This
Also, I wasn't really finished, but go ahead.
oh go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna finish this real quick. This is verse 7. It says, "And now, thus says Yahweh, the God of legions, the God of YshaRaL, why are you doing this great evil to your souls, to cut off from yourselves man and woman, child and infant, from the midst of Yahweh, not to leave yourselves a remnant, to anger me with the deeds of your hands, to burn incense to the gods of others in the land of Egypt, where you have gone to sojourn, so that you will cut off yourselves or slot, so that you will cut yourselves off, and so that you will be a curse and a disgrace among all the nations of the earth. Have you forgotten the evils of your forefathers, the evils of each of the kings of Yahweh, and the evils of his wives, your own evils and the evils of your wives that they committed in the land of Yahweh and in the streets of Jerusalem? They have not been subdued to this day. They have not feared and they have not feared and have not followed my teaching and my decrees that I placed before you and before your fathers. Therefore, thus says Yahweh, Master of Legions, God of Yasharal, behold, I am turning my attention to you for adversity, to cut off all of Yahweh, and I will take the remnant of Yahweh who have set their faces to come to the land of Egypt to sojourn there, and they will all perish. They will fall in the land of Egypt. They will perish by the sword and by the famine, from the smallest to the greatest. They will die by the sword and by the famine, and they will be an example for an oath, an astonishment, and a curse, and a disgrace. I shall deal with those who dwell in the land of Egypt as I have dealt with Jerusalem, with sword, with famine, and with pestilence. There will be no fugitive nor survivor from the remnant of Yahweh who have come to sojourn there in the land of Egypt, to return to the land of Yahweh, to where they lift their hopes to return to settle, for they will not return except as fugitives. See, right there, that's very powerful and strong. It just told you. Like, why are you setting yourself up for this? Why are you cutting your own soul off due to this? You know, it's like our people too worried about living in the now and not worrying about their future. You know, because I think
mhm.
that's more important. Like your lineage, your future, that's more important than what's going on like right now, that instant that you're doing. You know, you got to
Yeah.
take account of everything that you do. It has a reaction. You know, everything that you do will affect how your lineage, your children's will live. Like everything. So it's just like our people really need to take it to heart and wake up. Go ahead, brother D.
All right, all right. I'm gonna start from Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1. This is Yahweh, um, like speaking to Yasharal because they rely upon Egypt to like provide them nourishment for their soul. or to like they take counsel, but not from the Most High Yahweh. So it's just leading them to death. So I'm gonna start at verse 1. Woe, O wayward sons, the word of Yahweh, who take counsel, but not from me, who accept a ruler, but not of my spirit, in order to add sin upon sin, who are going to descend to Egypt, but did not inquire of my mouth, to seek strength in Pharaoh's stronghold, and to take shelter in Egypt's shade. Pharaoh's stronghold will be a shame for you, and the shelter in Egypt's shade will be a humiliation. For its officers were in Zoan, and its messengers have reached Hanas. Everyone has been shamed by this people who cannot benefit them, not of assistance and not of benefit, but for shame and even for disgrace. They load animals to travel to the south through a land of affliction and adversity, mature lion and young lion among them, viper and flying serpent. They carry their wealth upon their shoulder of young donkeys and their riches upon the camel's humps to a people who cannot provide benefit. As for Egypt, they will help with vanity and emptiness. Therefore, I say of this, they are arrogant and sitting idle, right? Sitting idle. It's just like it's no elevation. It's just nothing. It's just like idol worship, just just demons. Just literally like just demons. And it's like like you doing everything you can to stay in Egypt when it's not gonna help you at all. You just like clinging on to it for no reason at all. When there's no benefit, no, you're not gonna get anything from it. Right? It says they load animals to travel to the south through a land of affliction and adversity. Mature lion and young lion among them, viper and flying serpent. They carry their wealth upon their shoulder of young donkeys, and their riches upon the camel's humps to a people who cannot provide benefit. So it's like you taking everything you got with you, everything to Egypt, and it's not gonna benefit you at all. It's just emptiness and vanity, and you just gonna be idle. You just like no elevation. You just gonna be you just complacent, sitting in a parched land with the sun just beaming on you, with no fresh waters, no water in the mine. Right? I'm gonna continue uh to verse 8. Now go and write this prophecy on a tablet in their presence, and inscribe it in a book, and let it remain until the final day, forever, for eternity. For it is a rebellious people, dishonest children, children who are not willing to hear the teaching of Yahweh. Right? Uh, verse 9. For it is a rebellious people, dishonest children, children who are not willing to hear the teaching of Yahweh. I'm pretty sure if you going back to Egypt, you not listening to Yahweh. Because it says, woe to those who go to Egypt. But they it's like, man, when is YshaRaL gonna learn? It's plain as day, right? It's plain as day right here. It's just like they can look at it and they can read it and it can be in their mind, and then the next day it'll be gone. It's like what do you, man? It's just YshaRaL is rebellious, like it says right here. Verse 10. Who says to the seers, do not see, and to the prophets, do not see true visions for us. Speak pleasant things to us. See fantasies for us. Veer from the way, stray from the path. Remove from your presence the word of the Holy One of YshaRaL, right? They want to hear smooth things. They don't want the truth. They want that this just dirty water. They want that Flint, Michigan water. That's what they want.
Kind.
Literally. It says, speak pleasant things to us. Ain't that what the preacher do? Oh yeah, pass around that collection plate. Oh yeah, Jeepers this and Jeepers that. Like, come on now. Like, if you can't
Mm-hmm.
see that, like people be putting in $200 in the collection plate, talking about I'm gonna get my blessing, and you put another $200 in there and you still ain't got one. Like, come on now. Like it don't work like that. Um, give me 1 second.
Time. And while that brother is getting that other verse, I was just gonna say, and anyway, like the real tithes, they were for the Levites, they were for
Mm-hmm.
orphans, and they were for the widows and the proselytes, okay? And they were 10% of your produce, not money, okay? We had a monetary system already back then. If Yahweh would have said money, he would have said shekels or gold or money, but he did not. So don't get that misconstrued.
Kind.
Come,
And there was no homelessness or hunger either at all.
come.
So let that.
Um. Uh. Okay, this is still Isaiah 30. I'm gonna start at verse 12. Therefore, thus said the Holy One of YshaRaL, since you have despised this word, and you trusted in robbery and waywardness, and you have depended on it, therefore this sin will be for you like the breach of a fallen wall, like a bulge in a lofty wall, whose collapse comes with quick suddenness. God will break it as one breaks the potter's flask into fragments. He will have no pity. There will not be found among the fragments a shard to to scrape a burning coal from a fire, or to scoop water from a cistern. Verse 15. For thus said Yahweh, for thus said, my bad. Verse 15. For thus said my Lord Yahweh Elohim, the Holy One of YshaRaL, in stillness and peacefulness will you be saved, and quiet and in confidence will be your might. But you did not consent, and you said, not so. We will flee on a horse, therefore you will flee, and we will ride upon swift animals, therefore your pursuers will be swifter. 1,000 will flee from the shout of one, and from the shout of five you will all flee, until you will be left like a mast on the top of a mountain, and like a pole atop a hill. Therefore, Yahweh will delay in showing you grace, and therefore he will be aloof from showing you mercy. For Yahweh is a God of justice, praiseworthy of those who yearn for him. Praiseworthy of those who yearn for him, not Jeebus,
Not Jesus.
not no
Kind.
false idols, none of that. Not no Osiris,
Not
not
passport.
not no Baal, none of that. Come on now.
Yo, D,
Yo,
can you read verse 16 again?
yeah. Give me 1 second. Verse 16. And you said, not so. We will flee on a horse. Therefore you will flee, and we will ride upon swift animals. Therefore your pursuers will be swifter.
It's like no matter what a comedic person or anybody that goes against Yah, no matter what they do, their oppressor is gonna be better than them. If they run away from their oppressor is gonna be faster than them. They're gonna have better weapons than them. They're gonna have more ammunition than them. They're gonna have more money than them. There's no getting around it.
Hmm.
Come.
See if I can find.
Let me just bring out this quick verse real quick.
All
Um,
right, I'm going mute.
oh, um, it's Isaiah 36:6. This is the Rip Shaka talking to Hezekiah and his ministers. It says, "Look, you are trusting in the staff of this broken reed, Mitzrayim, on which if a man leans, it shall go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, the sovereign of Mitzrayim, to all who trust in him." So just going back, it says, "Look, you are trusting in a staff of a broken reed. Egypt been broke. Egypt been destroyed. But these, our brothers and sisters, they'll be like, I'm from Egypt. They ain't got no no verification, but they'll just be like, I'm from Egypt. I'm from the kings. I'm from the queens, but not realizing that the the royal family was like one family. There was more peasants than kings and queens. So obviously, if you claim in Egypt, more than likely you're from the peasant clan. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be more peasants. You know what I'm saying, under the royal family, and it goes on to say, and if a man leans on it, it should go through his hand. It's like if you put your trust in Egypt, it's gonna go straight through you. Like, at my job, I work at a restaurant, and I remember one time, I don't know what was going on, but I just all these, Negroes came in with comedic t-shirts and hoodies and tattoos, and they was ordering shrimp. And it's like I'm looking at these dudes, I'm like, they have no light in them because they're leaning on Mitzrayim, but they're doing things, they're putting tattoos on their body, which what I'm saying is desecrating them, and it will eventually poison them once that ink leaks into their bloodstream. And they're eating abominable foods, which is gonna mess up their insides. So it's like they trusting in Pharaoh, but that reed is going straight through their hand, it's going straight through their body. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to bring that out real quick.
As far as
Con.
like Egypt goes, oh, I'm sorry, X. You go ahead.
So I was just gonna say that crap. uh I was gonna say, how when you think of something and then you get kind of it'll come
Yeah.
back
Okay, so
to my
then I
head.
get to go. So my next study is going to be a little bit of Egypt and where the elongated heads came from. Like, what about them is so different than the rest of Israel, and why they have elongated heads and where that derived from? That's not seeming to be quite quote unquote normal.
Well, the if you read the commentaries, sometimes if I go and read some of the commentaries if I'm looking up a verse, what the verse where it says you should not round your head. In the commentaries, it proposes that sometimes what they would do when they would have a child, they would take the head and make it a cone shape because the skull isn't fully developed at that time, so they would actually um, mold their head into that shape. That's what the some of the commentaries suggest.
Con, I was just about to say that. Like when babies are born, their heads literally be shaped. That's why my head's so dang smooth. My mom rounded my head when I was a baby. No, I'm serious.
You,
She said to all my brothers, and so now I have like a pretty symmetrically round head. So it's
you
like,
got a milk dud head, huh?
yeah, I got a melon. Like I could rock any haircut with my head. That's how she shaped it. But yeah, in those days, elongated heads. That's just the way it's. I think those different people shape like their kids' heads. Depending on they uh whatever they stood on or whatever. But we stand on the Torah, so uh
There was binding of the skull, but then there's some skulls that you can clearly see that weren't binded, that they were actually like that. And so, like, I guess some of the people were binding their children's heads to make them look like royalty, even though they were not part of the clan or the family of the elongated Egyptian heads.
They also did that to protect the top of the head because that's the softest part of the head when the baby's born. So they did it also as a form of protection.
con.
They did what as far as a form of protection? What do you mean?
They would let the hair grow on the top and cut the sides, and then wrap the head in such a way that it reforms the scalp, pushing the scalp up.
Hmm.
I mean, it takes a long time to do it, but that's the way they did it. That's the way they elongated the head. Just like when
Con.
you see the women with the ropes around their neck and the big
Mm-hmm.
brass band stretching their neck. That's what it's for. Is to correct their posture and keep them standing upright because they carry bottles and things on their heads. So it helped with balancing also.
Hmm. I thought that was
Mhm.
just a sign of beauty, and they had to keep them on because after each stretch, they couldn't take them off because if they did, their necks would break. I didn't. Um, it might be a different tribe as far as posture, but the one that I was studying on was it was like jewelry. It was a sign of beauty. The longer your neck could stretch, the more beautiful you were,
That tribe you're
according to
talking,
that tribe.
they did that to make themselves unattractive. The same way they put the bows in their lips and in their ears to make them unattractive to the slave masters that were over there. So that's part of that too.
Hmm.
It has several reasons.
Come. And also in Egypt, just like all of Esau, after he planted his seed, they well, even well before that, because Esau actually looks up to Egypt. They hold them high, like most of stuff, especially the Greeks. But sorry, I was gonna say was Egypt. They have a caste system. Okay, they have a caste system, just like all them other nations. You know, they have a hierarchy or whatever you want to call it. At the very top, it's like the so-called pharaoh, and then you got his priests, you got his subjects, you got the royal family or whatever, this that, and the other. You got his advisors, his council, and then you got his army, and all the way down to the peasants. Which was us in Egypt. That's why I was like, yeah, we were from Egypt, but we were slaves to Egypt, just like we're slaves to Egypt now. So it's like it's nothing new. It's like, okay, yeah, you find out that you're from Egypt, but that's because you were in chains there, moving them bricks, making that mortar, you know, sweating day in, day out. You read when it said that the Pharaoh increased the work. He increased the work on Egypt after Moses and Aaron came to him. You know, he said, why are you bothering them? They're already working. Just leave them alone. Let them do their work. He said, you know what? I'm just going ahead and increase their work. So now everybody had to gather their own straw and still, follow the quota, which was, hard. It was hard. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. Um, uh, uh, Akim, what you gonna bring out that Second Chronicles?
Does anybody want to say anything before I do that? Because I need to get my notes together real quick.
I have a question as far as like Egypt goes and the building and stuff there. Why is it that today in today's studies they say they have no idea how the pyramids were built?
It's probably because we was using like sacred geometry. Remember the cubits?
Hmm.
I mean, that's not a definite thing. I just believe that's just something we had knowledge of.
Right. Well, yeah, and it does say that Moses knew all the ways of the Egyptians. So I'm sure he taught those ways as well. We've just really completely lost all of everything, apparently.
God. And don't forget about Joseph. You know, Joseph
Yeah.
was the governor of Egypt, so he was giving them knowledge and wisdom that Yahweh was blessing him with. During his time of I ain't gonna say misfortune, but during his time of that was his testing trial, his to see where his heart was. And even in that, that's like another reason why we suffer because what we did to our brother Joseph in Egypt when we sold him for slavery. Like that's
Hmm.
that's not something we should be doing, especially in Deuteronomy. It says you're not supposed to sell your brother. You're not supposed to increase interest on your brother. You know,
Mm.
Uh,
Another
so
thing, and our people, sometimes I hear people say, oh, we never sold their brother. We never sold their brother. Da 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 da. I'm like, obviously, it has happened over and over. Even the scriptures show in a smaller scale of selling a brother. So, we sometimes people want to say that some people over in Africa are not Israelites when really they are. We've just been mingled a lot, you know, and some of the customs that they do over there are still very much, for lack of a better term, Hebrew customs. So, not everybody over there, obviously, but a lot of people over there are waking up to their ancestry as well.
this word slave has been taken out of context by the heathens. Slave actually meant a servant, an employee, a helping hand, and you actually got paid for doing the labor that you did for the person that you were bound to. But I think it was a contract, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to find it. Because I ran into that earlier, and I found it kind of interesting how the heathens took everything we have and defiled it and changed it into something negative. And the word wasn't slave, the word was servant that he used. And through my
That's why.
studies, I studied that the heathens called indentured servants slaves. And then after they were slaves and released, or those that were released were sharecroppers, but they were still indentured servants. The whole premise was servitude, but they took it too far.
Mm-hmm.
They increased our labor, just like what Pharaoh did in Egypt. You know, the same thing. And doesn't that, hold up, doesn't the word Pharaoh, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he just like the leader of the fools?
I had to look that up.
I think I heard Judah say that once.
You
Slack if
said
it's
what?
not. I said, doesn't Pharaoh doesn't mean leader of the fools?
I think it's something like that. It's like master of fools. It's like something like that.
Hmm.
Hey,
I mean,
I got my
it would make
definition.
sense. Understand? It's a lot of brothers and sisters. They be saying, "Oh, I'm a Pharaoh," all that type, bull stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like winds and confusion that get your mind all jumbled up. But yeah, some people in the chat they're talking about the pyramids. Okay, so I've never heard about what this one brother is talking about the Peruvian pyramids being authentic. But regardless, pyramid is a phallic
That's your
thing,
brother?
you know? Huh?
Did you say that's your brother?
No, that's not my
In the
brother. That's a brother.
Oh, I see. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'll say the pyramids. That's a phallic thing. Those are things that people were worshiping and sacrificing on top of and all types of stuff. Hence why they got destroyed. So it don't really matter like what's authentic and what's not authentic. It's the whole concept about it. The whole concept about it is idol worship. That's what they was doing. They was worshiping the sun. So
Well, the
and
pyramids are still very much up there. They're not destroyed. So, I mean, and then people go in there and try to figure out how they're made, and they're like lined with gold, and a whole bunch of
yeah,
things are
it's
kind of
a
creepy in
giant
there.
sarcophagus. Like it's a stylish tomb in a sense.
The pyramids actually served two purposes. One was a storage house, and
Okay.
down the bottom portion was the burial. That's why you see the gold around the walls. All the kings got buried in the bottom, and they lined the walls with gold. And they put all their belongings, all their earthly belongings down there with them.
Yep. They even put their mistresses, their favorite animals, old wives, all types of stuff to bury with them. They had them bombed.
That's why Judah
You
was
know.
making about them being buried with their cats.
Yeah.
Was making fun of
What kind of like you killed your cat just so you can try to bring with you in the afterlife, knowing that you can't
it.
like that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's just stupid.
Those pyramids serve two functions: storage and burial.
Con storage and burial. Mm-mm-mm.
So if they were just storage and burial, how come they're aligned with the stars? Like the
I mean,
Orion,
that's just the
like
way that
there's
they were made. We was forced to make them. It wasn't up to us how they use them.
They had them built in specific locations for that reason. That's what
Yeah.
it was part of worshiping the stars and the moon and the sun. And it's this
Huh.
pyramids actually work like a marker or what you would call a clock back in those days. What do they call it? A sundial. Yeah.
Sundial. Sundial. We tell the time.
I'm sorry, that's the third function. Forgive me. That was the third function. That's how they told the time of day.
Yep. And it was just like they had thousands of different gods, so they was worshiping anything and everything. Like they was worshiping crocodiles, scared beetles, all types of falling. It just it don't make sense. That's why I was like going back to that mind state of not knowing anything, you know, not having true knowledge, wisdom, understanding, but going back and trading it for something that's for naught. It's like, what are you doing? You know, like what are you doing?
And also, one reason why it aligns with the stars per se is like Deuteronomy chapter 4 and 19. It says, unless you lift up your eyes to the heavens and shall see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the hosts of the heavens, and you be drawn away into bowing down to them and serving them, which Yahweh your Alahayik has allotted to all the peoples under the heavens. So all the peoples under the heavens are the ones that's like it was their kind of like inclination, or Yahweh gave them the open door to emulate the stars. Because if you think about it, like there's no pyramids in Israel, but you can find pyramids pretty much all over the world.
It's pyramids in Illinois right now as we speak. They,
Even
they
in
said that they
Vegas.
are mounds, but they're not mounds. They're pyramids, and uh,
Con, you talking about them Cahokia mounds, man? Them
yeah,
man, bro.
There,
They used to make us go on field trips there. When I used to live in Illinois, they used to make us go on field trips and stuff. It's like, man,
they're underwater too, you know. And then when you start doing research with the Bermuda Triangle, there's some things a little whacked out about that as well. From what I gather, it's like energy sources. So,
it's
um,
an electromagnetic field.
mhm, that's why a lot of things go haywire when you get near them.
Yeah, they got no business being there. Y'all always getting them out of there.
God, it's pyramids everywhere, bro. Pyramids all across the world. You know why? Because everywhere throughout the world, people's worshiping the sun. So it's like, you can't get away from that sun worship. The sun
Dang,
is in a.
dang,
That's what Yahweh was saying. He gave the peoples of the world, the stars and stuff. That was for them. Our portion is Yahweh. That's why He made us separate. That's why we are not the same. That's why we are supposed to be a treasured nation unto Him. All that stuff for the nations, that's to keep them occupied until Yahweh comes and restores us as the head. That's just something to occupy their minds.
Oh yeah, and you can see all the confusion out here. There's so many different um, things that people believe in and quit believing in and making up their own
God,
stories, and it's you have to be careful too, because there's so many things that would seem to be right, and then when you dig a little bit deep you're like, oh no, that's not it, you know.
hey,
Like
So
the best form of protection we got, sis, we got the Thawa. And Yahweh tells us, don't believe in their conspiracies because they're winds of confusion. We have our heritage right in front of us. It tells us everything. So we don't even
mhm,
really need to know what they're doing. You don't need to pollute your mind with their folly.
mhm.
Because we can know generally by process of elimination that whatever they're doing is not right.
that's why the earth is fighting back.
Mhm.
that's real.
It's a unnatural phenomenon. No, it's not. That's Yahweh using the world to turn you guys down. Turn the volume up too high.
Mm.
And I ran into a bunch of videos today about a particular race diminishing, and they're fearful of that. So what do? They bring up plans to target us again, to try to even it up. No, it's not. It's not going to
But
work.
the way I see it out is, I guess in a esoteric kind of way, is like our minds are being molded, right? Our minds are being shapen right now. We're in the womb. So in a sense, some of Yahshua is coming to awakening, coming back. So hence the world. is changing as well as we're changing. You know, so it's like everything is is changing in due time
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
it's almost that time. I mean, when nobody knows, but it's like, yo, wake up. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna say that there is a day that you're gonna be able to like, because there's no set time, and Yahweh said it's gonna be plenty of opportunities, even until He comes back. And if you still haven't realized, then hey, hell, I can't remember what chapter it was. It was talking about like during stages of death, what they experienced, the ones who sinned and then the ones who kept Yahweh's decrees and his commandments. It was like if you have acknowledged your guilt and you turn, you was ashamed due to all the things that you have done, then you can still be saved even then. So it's like, yo, we got plenty of ample time to really strive to do better and to be better. But you gotta want it, and it don't come easy. It's hard work. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
like working on
The
your
rabbit hole
brain.
is deep.
That's what
Working out on your brain is harder than working on your body to like the fullest. Because like these are things that you have to learn and you have to tell yourself that you can't do. You got to break your body of those Egyptian habits. Because we are
Mhm.
in Egypt. So it's like that's hence the video right there. Turn away from Egypt. You don't want to be in Egypt. Trust me. Because you been in Egypt, what does that mean? You become worthy of destruction. Because what happened in Egypt, they get destroyed. So if you become worthy of destruction, well, remember that verse I read earlier. Each man will die due to his own sin. You will die.
is everybody aware that it's going to be two gatherings?
Cain.
What, do you mind explaining?
Well, the initial group is the one who are in the Tanakh now, and like Xavier was explaining, when they start feeling guilty or repenting of what they're doing, and then actually turn back to Yahweh, he's going to go back and gather the second group. But we will already establish a place for them to go. So the first group will be there to establish the place. The second group will be to join them.
Cain, like how it says, like those people who are there when God comes against us, and it says those people who are there without walled cities. That's the first. That's the people who return first, and then after the second battle, after that final battle, that's when y'all gets that the second return.
There's a second awakening.
Yeah, because it's gonna be plain. It's gonna be plain who to everybody around the world who the Creator is and who His people are.
God, that's the beauty of it. That's something definitely worthy to rejoice over.
Okay, now hallelujah. But let me go ahead and bring out this second Chronicles chapter 12 real quick. Now like I was looking at this while I was at work trying to get ready for the live, and I just came across some interesting things. Now this is about Rehoboam. I think in like the KJV it might say Rehoboam, but Rehoboam, he he was the king. He was a Solomon's son, the king after the split, and this is after Yehuda. Well, yeah, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom was gonna fight, but Yah sent a prophet to tell them don't go to war. So this picks up with his acts. Now it says in Second Chronicles chapter 12, verse 1, it says, and it came to be when Rehoboam had established the reign and had strengthened himself that he forsook the Thorah of Yahweh and all Israel with him. So let me explain something real quick. His name actually means like the expanding or the spreading of a people. Now, if you think about it, this is kind of like right after Solomon, during Solomon's time, this is when he Solomon had Rehoboam. So Solomon's time was a time of peace and a time of prosperity. So it makes sense to why Solomon would name his son this. But as we see, he forsook the ways, he forsook the Torah and the instructions of Yahweh. So Yahweh actually sent Shishak, the sovereign of Egypt, against him. And when you go to verse 3, it says, with 1,200 chariots and 60,000 horsemen and innumerable people who came with him out of Mitzrayim, the Lubim, the Sukkites, and the Cushites. So, uh, looking at the name Shishak actually means like greedy, greedy of fine linen. So if you kind of think about it, fine linen is a pure fabric. So Shishak represents kind of like pure greed. You see what I'm saying? And he's coming from Mitzrayim, which means a siege or an entrapment or a cramping. You know what I'm saying? So kind of like that evil inclination that you have. That inclination is greedy. It's like a pure form of greed. Like, hey, don't do this. Go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
indulge and you know what I'm saying, that pork do smell good. Just go ahead and get a taste. It's just like pure greed. You see what I'm saying? This
Mm.
this is Shishak, and Lubim means afflicted, right? The Sukkites is it was like a warrior class of people, or hired warriors, but it's actually the word Sukkot. So like when we have the Feast of Booths, like it's the same word, but it means a lair, a den, or a temple, just like the temple we have. And the Cushites, the Ethiopians, which their name kind of means black, right? But it had me thinking like Kushak, like you're black in the mind. And the guttural uh, the guttural relative of that word would be kasach, which is H3686, which means to put down. So if you're kashak, you're black in the mind, you're actually put down. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
so we go to verse 9, and it says, and Shishak, sovereign of Mitzrayim, came up against Jerusalem and took away the treasures of the house of Yahweh and the treasures of the sovereign's house. He took all. He also took the gold shields which Solomon had made. So in verse 9, that word for to take is lakach, and it means to take, to seize, to take away. And he took everything. So all the knowledge. Well, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but it literally means to take it. And just like Shishak said, that greed took it. He took all out of the treasures of the house of Yahweh. The word for treasures is awatzar, right? And it means treasures or storehouse. Now, I'm gonna just ask a quick question. If you take the way you spell that word is Aleph, Wow, Zadi, and a Resh. If you take that Zadi out, do you know what word that gives you? All right. Well, the word it gives you is a war, which means light. You see what I'm saying? So he took away the light from out of the house of Yahweh. He took the light away from Israel. You see what I'm saying? Because the storehouse in the house of Israel is right where the third level is, where the third degree is, right behind the holy of holies. That's where the treasure house is. You see what I'm saying? So as we know in the temple mind, that third level of the holy of holies is your mind. You see what I'm saying? So he took the light away from his mind, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
says he took the shields of gold which Solomon had made. Those shields, that word is Megan, and we know the 6 pointed the star. It's the shield. It's like a defense and it's, you know, the sign of manifestation. So they couldn't manifest any defense against this greed from Egypt, from this cramping greed that came from Egypt. And like you said, the Sukkites are representative of a tabernacle. So this is like you replacing a the tabernacle of Yahweh, which is, you know, that in your soul, replacing it with a dark, that Kashak tabernacle. You see what I'm saying? You're taking the Thara out of your mind and putting this tabernacle, which is dark. So he took away his light. Now you got that darkness in you. And like it says in verse 10, the sovereign Rehoboam made bronze shields. So the shields that Solomon made was gold. It was the finest type of defense that you could ever have, which, you know, that would be representative of the Torah. You know what I'm saying? But he made brass shields, which we all know what brass is. It's cheap, it's base. So he had a base protection, and he gave it to his chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So like he made his chiefs, he gave them a false protection. You know what I'm saying? Because it says he gave them to his chiefs. You know what I'm saying? And it says that let me find my spot real quick. He gave it into the hands of the chiefs of the guard who guarded the entrance of the sovereign's house. So the word for entrance is petak, like the opening, like you know, so like you could say like, yo, I got your mind open right now. So he didn't they didn't have no defense in their mind against that greed
Hmm.
from Egypt, that pure greed that came in. And just to finish it off, let me see what it said. But if you just go down to the end of it, it says that Rehoboam, whenever he humbled himself, that's when Yah took away his fury from him. But it says at the end that he still did, in verse 14, he still did evil in the sight of Yahweh because he didn't set his heart towards doing what Yahweh has said. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And what that is taking on that Egyptian state because he allowed them to come in. He allowed that greed to enter into the temple. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's what I looked at while I was at work. But I just want to
Hmm.
bring that little bit of temple science
Well, yeah, if you think about like going back on to the greed thing, if you think about what all the nations do and like the kings of all these nations and the people in power, it's all about greed, all of it. And I'm going to do this for these people, and I'm going to go over
in.
here and bomb these people because they don't think the way that we think. You know what I'm saying? And when you go into the scriptures, it's all about humility because, as you can see, many of our foreparents, um, they made many, many mistakes. But the ones that humbled themselves down and petitioned to the Most High with their mouth, they didn't have to go and throw blood everywhere. You know, they just had to petition with their mouths, and the Most High forgave them. You know, and I remember this was a while back, and TKR was Chris had brought out something about Adam and him blaming his wife for his own actions, and he got kicked out of the garden. It wasn't him, you know, taking his own responsibility. He blamed, well, essentially, he blamed it on the Most High and on Eve. So, you know, it's all about being humble, and I think that that's too, like with our people, with them being so stubborn. Um, if people really wanted to seek the truth, they would humble themselves down and say, I'll look into this instead of saying no, no, no about everything, because that's what gets us trapped when we think we know everything when we don't, you know?
I guess the word for our people for today would be accountability, because that's something us as a nation have not yet, you know, humble enough to admit. We have to take
Mm-hmm.
accountability for all the actions that has transpired, like due to us or due to our forefathers. You know, we're exactly in this predicament because our forefathers they strayed away then, just like we're straying away now. So it's like, it's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's nothing new under the sun, because this is a cycle. You know, it happens all throughout the time until we get it right. About to start closing it up because my phone is dying,
I
and
heard that.
uh, my
Sounds
phone
like
is
a Nintendo game.
dying.
Atari up there.
This was a regular PKR. Um, but it was good to be able to gather or seek counsel from brothers and sisters tonight and to edify on these points. I'm gonna close with these scriptures, um, and then I'm gonna give, I always like to give a scripture that's good so our people can know, what's the reward for coming back to your house. You know, not just, it'll be well for you, but it would truly save your soul. It will save your own soul. Remember, Yahweh says, seek that path that you should take and find solace for your soul. You know, but this verse is in Jeremiah, and this chapter, let's see, chapter 44, verse 24, and it's still about us in Egypt. It says, Jeremiah then said to all the people, and especially to all the women, hear the word of Yahweh, all of Yahweh who are in the land of Egypt. Thus says Yahweh, Master of Legions, God of YshaRaL, you are, or you and your wives have spoken with your mouths and have performed with your hands, saying, we will surely fulfill our vows that we have vowed to burn incense to the Queen of the heavens and to pour out libations to her. Indeed, you continue to fulfill your vows and carry out your vows. Therefore, hear the word of Yahweh, all of Yahweh who dwell in the land of Egypt. Behold, I swear by my great name, says Yahweh, that my name will no longer be mentioned in the mouths of any man of Yahweh, saying, alas, flock, saying, as my Lord Yahweh Elohim lives in the entire land of Egypt. So now that's like our people are known for doing blasphemy and swearing falsely on you know on God. Heck, that's why they swear on Jesus, because Yahweh just said he swore by his name that he removed his name. That's why we don't know his name. That's why people walking around don't know his name. He removed it from us because we were impure and we were still swearing on his name. So let me keep reading. Verse 27 says, behold, I shall be diligent towards them for evil and not for good. And all the men of Yahweh who are in the land of Egypt will perish by the sword and by the famine, for they are annihilated. And fugitives from the sword will return from the land of Egypt to the land of Yahweh, few in number, and all the remnant of Yahweh who have come to the land of Egypt to sojourn will know whose word will prevail, mine or theirs. See, it's right there. He just telling you. So whose word will prevail, mine or yours? I'm telling you what's going to happen. I just told you what's going to happen. You know,
Right.
but they seek to part their libations to the King of Heaven. He literally said a remnant of Yahweh that will come back to the land. As fugitives. It's just I don't understand how these people are really, really like. I guess the biggest word I can say is they are not good at uh, uh, context. They're not good at context comprehension. They cannot read. They cannot understand what's being, you know, in these scriptures right in front of them. What's already there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's like clear cut in the English, because you have to learn the Yahweh doc, the the language in order to truly know. But this is the Tanakh. You have the tools that's necessary that will be well for us, so we can do that stuff. But you have to want to. But, let me continue this last part. It says, "This will be a sign for you." Yes, this will be a sign for you, the word of Yahweh, that I will attend to you in this place, in order that you may know that my words concerning you for evil will surely come about. See, that's them testing Yahweh. And Yahweh said, you should not test your God. That's one of the commandments. You're not supposed to test your God. What's wrong with you? Verse 30. Thus says Yahweh, behold, I am delivering Pharaoh uh, what's that? Hophra, Hophra, king of Egypt, into the hand of his enemies, and into the hand of those who seek his soul, just as I delivered Zedekiah, king of Yehoiada, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylonia, his enemy who sought his soul. Right there. And that's just for us going back to Egypt. You know, like y'all going back to Egypt, it's not beneficial to you or to Egypt, because Egypt is going to get destroyed again, and you are going to get destroyed there. It's like a lightning rod, you know. But let me find. I'm gonna go to this verse that I wanted to bring out. That's going to be my closing verse. And let's see. Oops, and it's beautiful. You know, it's right here. It's Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 12, and it says, "This shall be the reward when you hearken to these ordinances, and you observe and perform them. Yahweh, your God, will safeguard you, or sorry, safeguard for you the covenant and the kindness that He swore to your forefathers. He will love you, bless you, and multiply you. And He will bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your land, your grain, your wine, your oil, the offspring of your cattle, and the flocks of your sheep and goats. On the land that He swore to you, your forefathers to give to you, you will be the most blessed of all peoples. You will be the blessed of all the people. Oh, Shalom, Shalom,
Hey,
you will be the
Killa.
blessed of all
Shalom.
peoples. I'm sorry, yes. And then,
Shalom.
yes, you will be the blessed, or you will be the most blessed of all the peoples. There will be no infertile man or infertile female among you, or among your animals. Yahweh will remove from you every illness and all the bad maladies of Egypt that you knew. He will not put them upon you, but will put them upon all your foes. You will devour all the peoples that Yahweh your God will deliver to you. Your eyes shall not pity them. You shall not worship their gods, for it is a snare for you. Right there. It's a snare for you. So it's like, why you want to go back to Egypt? Why you want to worship the gods of others? It's
Mm-hmm.
a snare for you. You're entrapping yourself. It's like our people set themselves up for failure, you know? And this is the reward. That's something our people has not, known. We haven't known the reward. We've known the curses. So it's like when I read that, I get sentimental. I get kind of teary eyed because that's beautiful. That's something we have not been able to experience. We haven't been able to experience true rest here. I mean, we're still slaves. So it's like, come on, man, wake up. This is supposed to be the future for our generations to come. If you're not thinking about them, then you just need to, you just a useless eater, you know? But that's my closing statement. I'm just saying, shalom to the panel, shalom to everybody who watched, shalom to all the EK, all the brothers who weren't able to come on. This is just a quick video, and I know we have TKR tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited for that. But I thank you guys for coming on and expound on some information that could be useful for those who are out there. And shalom.
Shalom. Thank you for hosting us.
Oh yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. First of all, praise Yahweh, our God, our Elohim. You know, praise Him. We love Him. We seek Him. That just has to be established first. But yes, and the next brother sister could go.
Yeah, shalom to everybody that's on the panel. Killer, you late, man. And shalom to all the listeners and the watchers. And all I can say is don't be discouraged when you approach someone and they don't accept you. There's going to be a time where they will wake up. It just won't be seen by you. So don't give up. Be vigilant. Stay in the word. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. I'll go
Shalom.
next if you don't mind. Or Laura, you can go if you want.
I'll go.
Sure.
Mine's is from Malachi chapter 3, verse 7 in the Tanakh, and I think it's in Malachi chapter 4, verse 1 in the KJV. For behold, the day is come, burning like an oven, when all the wicked people and all evildoers will be like straw, and that coming day will burn them up, says Yahweh, Master, Lord of hosts. Excuse me, y'all. So that it will not leave them a root or branch, but a son of righteousness will shine for you who fear my name, with healing in its rays. And you will go out and flourish like calves flattened in a stall. And you will trample the wicked, for they will be ashes under the soles of your feet. On that day I will bring about, says Yahweh, Lord of hosts. Remember the Torah of Moses, my servant, which I commanded him at Horeb for all of Israel, its decrees and its statutes. Shalom.
Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
All right. I hope you guys can hear me because my headphones went dead. I wanted to say thanks for everybody to everybody on the panel and anybody listening at home. This was a good lesson. Learned a little bit here and there. It's good for us to associate with people that are like-minded to keep the encouragement up, because obviously there's very small amount of us out here, and trying to stay focused with all the different distractions that we see in Egypt. And it's up to us to kind of spread the word and try and help our brothers and sisters get out of this mind frame of staying in Egypt, continuing to prove all things and do the work of the Most High with his assistance, obviously. And I think that's it. Shalom.
Shalom. I just want to get out my last couple verses. Um, this is Psalms 100. I'm starting at verse 1. Uh, a psalm of thanksgiving. Call out to Yahweh, all the earth. Serve Yahweh with gladness. Come before him with joyous song. Know that Yahweh, he is God. He made us and we are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving, his courts with praise. Give thanks to him. Bless his name. For Yahweh is good. His kindness endures forever. And from generation to generation is his faithfulness. Right? It's like, it's well, it's not self-explanatory to people who don't keep the Torah and to people who don't want to know about themselves. But it's like, man, if you read it, it's just, if you read it and come back to Yahweh wholeheartedly and sincerely, and just try to walk in his truth the best as you can. It's like those, it's it's gonna be good for you. Like, man, it's YshaRaL just need to wake up. It's like I know we keep saying it a lot, but it's the Israelite movement just complacent, as Judah says. Like, there's no elevation. They just want to watch the entertainment and the folly. Just got to come back to Yahweh and his Tawawah, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And but yeah, I just want to get out my last couple points. Shalom to everybody on the panel. Thank you for coming on. And shalom to all the Torah keepers out there, the Torah keepers in truth. And praise Yahweh, halal wayah, for allowing us to come together and continue to bring out his truth. And shalom.
Shalom, bro.
Shalom. Let me go ahead and say my last verses. I just want to read a little bit of Psalms 135. It says, "Praise Yah, praise the name of Yahweh, praise you servants of Yahweh, who are standing in the house of Yahweh, in the courts of the house of our Elohim. Praise Yah, for Yahweh is good. Sing praises to his name, for it is pleasant. For Yah has chosen Jacob for himself, Israel for his treasured possession. For I know that Yahweh is great, and our master is above all mighty ones. Yahweh has done whatever pleased him in the heavens and in the earth, in the sea and in all the depths, causing vapors to go up from the ends of the earth. He made lightning for the rain, bringing forth wind from his treasures. Who struck the firstborn of Mitzrayim, from man to beast? He sent signs and wonders into your midst, Mitzrayim, O Pharaoh, and on all, excuse me, Silica, on Pharaoh and on all his servants, who struck many nations and killed mighty sovereigns, even Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, and Og, sovereign of Bashan, and all the reigns of Canaan. And he gave their land as an inheritance to Israel, his people. Yahweh, your name is forever. Yahweh, your remembrance to all generations. For Yahweh rightly rules his people and has compassion on his servants. Nahayel Yah, Nashah, Kadash Sham, Yahweh Akkad, Yahweh Alhay, Tisbawath. Shalom to everybody on the panel. Shalom to everyone who was listening. Shalom to everyone keeping this tour, keeping these instructions, following this law, doing the best that they can to uplift the name of Yahweh. And like I said, and like the prophet Isaiah said, to uplift the law and make it honorable in the sight of the nations. So shalom to all you.
Shalom.
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 Who's next? My turn?
Yeah.
Sorry. Proverbs chapter 20. I start at 3. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. A sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg in harvest and have nothing. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Most men who proclaim every one his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find? A just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes. Who can say, I have made my heart clean? Am I pure from my sin? Divers weights and divers measures. Both of them are alike, abomination to the Most High. Even a child is known by his doings, whether it is pure and whether it is right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Most High have made even both of them. Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thy eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. I say shalom to all the people on the panel, and shalom to all the viewers. Thanks for tuning in.
Alrighty.
All right.
Shalom.
Everyone. Shalom.
Shalom.
I just got some kind of hateful stuff on the comment board. Anybody know about a Mandrake 1811?
Uh-oh.
What was that?
I don't know. I deleted the message, but it was like, "Hello, nigger Jules. We have a plane or a train ticket for you," or some crap like that.
Oh, wow.
Like that. I mean, nobody even cares. I don't even claim that. I'm not black. I'm a YshaRaL. I know who I am, and I know who you are. And you're going to be destroyed utterly. So your mind's already in shambles. So anything you say to me cannot hurt me because I've hurt myself enough. So you can take that and you can sit on it, and then you can go off yourself.
We
So,
already know that that's going to happen. That
Does anybody have a good scripture for them? Somebody have something good they can read for them?
They're being anti-Semitic.
I mean, they're not even worth the time. I just don't understand why they feel the need to leave that as if we care, because we stand by the Torah. So, sticks and stones, you hurt our bones, but words ain't gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be any worse than what our people's mindset is, you know. And we have books. We're educated, unlike some people. Obviously, if you still using the word nigga, they don't even know what it means or it
Yeah,
comes from.
right.
So it's like
Probably
it doesn't matter. Yeah, they trolling. It's cool. I mean, I'm not phased by it. I don't understand why they feel the need that it was important enough to leave a comment because I really don't care. Like
They're
I
the
don't care
same
if
one
you're
that tried to put a thumbs down. The hate is
probably
real.
is.
It's always
Yeah.
been real.
No,
It's
realize.
nothing new.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, they can't intimidate me. You know, I don't fear man. Man is a mere mortal, just like Yahweh said. They're going to be cut down just like grass. So, what I can say to you is humble yourself. Humble yourself, because
Mm-hmm.
your soul is at risk. You know. So that's all I got to say. But shalom to all the Akim out there. We love you guys. We pray that everybody's saying this truth and walk with wholeheartedness and diligence, and that we can continue to congregate and be able to bring out these beautiful scriptures because these scriptures are beautiful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we need. This is true sustenance. This is food for our souls. So, with that being said, I want to say shalom, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, TKR. So,
Yes.
shalom.
Shalom. Good night, everybody.
Shalom.
Nahel
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh God.